If you take a 90s kid and a kid growing up in the 2020s, put them in the same room, and ask them to describe childhood, it sounds like they grew up on different planets. Not because one generation is better, but because the environment changed faster than ever in human history. Technology, parenting styles, education, social pressure, even how kids form identity. Childhood didn't just evolve, it transformed. And the difference between a 90s kid's life and a 20s kid's life explains a lot about why people think, behave, and struggle so differently today. Childhood freedom vs supervised childhood. A typical 90s childhood had something today's kids rarely experience. Unstructured freedom. Kids played outside for hours without adults watching every move. They walked to school. They explored neighborhoods. They solved problems alone. Psychologists actually call this independent play exposure. Studies show it helped develop decision-making, confidence, and social negotiation skills. Today's kids grow up in what researchers call high-supervision childhood. More indoor time, more scheduled activities, more parental monitoring, more safety rules. Not because parents changed, but because the world feels riskier, even if statistically it isn't much more dangerous. The result? 90s kids learned independence earlier. 20s kids often develop it later. Analog social skills versus digital social skills. In the 90s, social life required physical presence. You couldn't hide behind a screen. You couldn't edit messages. You couldn't leave conversations on scene. You dealt with awkwardness in real time. And those awkward moments trained emotional intelligence. Kids learned how to read body language, how to deal with rejection, how to apologize face-to-face, how to sit in uncomfortable silence. Today's kids still socialize a lot, but mostly through digital communication, texting, voice notes, gaming chats, social media comments. Research shows Gen Z actually communicates more than previous generations, but less in person, so their brains develop different strengths. They're often better at fast communication, online networking, and digital expression, but sometimes struggle more with direct confrontation and face-to-face discomfort. Different skills, not weaker skills. Boredom vs constant stimulation. One of the biggest psychological differences is how each generation experienced boredom. 90s kids were bored a lot. No phone, no algorithm, no instant entertainment. You watched whatever was on TV, or nothing. You played outside, or made something up. Research shows boredom actually helped develop creativity, imagination, problem solving, self-entertainment ability. Today's kids grow up with zero-delay stimulation. If something is boring, they switch instantly. Short videos, infinite scroll, games on demand, music on demand, and neuroscience shows this affects attention development. Not because kids today are less capable, but because their brain adapts to fast-switch environments. That's why many young people today feel restless during slow tasks. Their brain grew up expecting speed. Private childhood vs recorded childhood. 90s kids had something priceless. They could be stupid in peace. Embarrassing haircut? Gone. Weird phase? Forgotten. Cringe behavior? Not documented. Today's kids grow up in a recorded world. Photos online, videos online, school moments online, social mistakes online, and psychologists say this creates something called continuous self-awareness pressure. Kids become aware they're always visible, so they don't just live experiences, they manage how they appear. That's a huge mental load earlier in life than any generation before. Limited information versus information overload. A 90s kid had limited information access. If you wanted to learn something, you asked someone, read a book, or waited. Today's kids have unlimited information instantly. Tutorials, courses, guides, opinions, advice, comparison. And here's the twist. Research shows too much information doesn't always create clarity. It often creates decision paralysis. 90s kids had fewer options but clearer paths. Today's kids have unlimited options but more confusion. Career paths, stability versus uncertainty. In the 90s, success followed a clearer script. Study, get a job, stay loyal to a company, climb slowly. That system wasn't perfect, but it was predictable. Today's kids grow up in a world where jobs disappear, industries change, and new careers appear overnight. Influencer, content creator, remote freelancer, startup founder, AI-related careers. Opportunity is higher than ever, but stability feels lower. So younger generations don't just chase success, they chase security in an unpredictable world. Mental health awareness, silence versus conversation. 90s kids grew up in a time where mental health wasn't discussed much. Challenge? Stress? Deal with it. Anxiety? Ignore it. Depression? Hide it. Today's kids grow up hearing about mental health everywhere. Online discussions, school programs, public awareness, therapy normalization. This doesn't mean they struggle more. It means they recognize struggles more. And awareness always looks like increase at first. What both generations can learn from each other. 90s kids often have patience, offline social confidence, adaptability without tech, strong independence. 20s kids often have digital intelligence, global awareness, fast learning ability, opportunity access. The strongest people in the future won't belong fully to one side. They'll combine both. Old world grounding, new world tools. Because the real advantage isn't growing up in one era. It's learning from multiple eras. The real difference. So maybe the question isn't, was the 90s better? Or is today better? Maybe the real question is, what parts of the past made people stronger, and what parts of today make people smarter? Because childhood shapes the brain, but awareness shapes the future, and the people who understand both worlds are the ones best prepared for what's coming next.